This is something that's been brought up by Wes Streeting. He's considering a bespoke programme for people who suffered life-changing injuries as a result of the AstraZeneca jab. It's funny how the world turns, isn't it? I mean, imagine if you'd said that to somebody 3 years ago, you'd probably have been put in prison or something.
Well, the problem is, Mike, a number of things. Firstly, we were not allowed to discuss this. We had spies, we had censors, we had smears, shadow banning. Anyone who raised even a question about the what they call a vaccination, about the mRNA jab, who said it was experimental, it hasn't been tested out on people for a long enough period. What are the costs and benefits of it? If very vulnerable people need it, even that's up for discussion now. But do the rest of the population, certainly not children, which Together campaigned about. Now we've got a situation where they're saying the vaccine compensation scheme is not fit for purpose. There are over 15,000 people we know right now just challenging AstraZeneca. Many more are concerned with impacts and harms. And then, of course, there's Moderna and Pfizer. Now, the point about all of this, Mike, is that we need to get to a situation where there's some kind of quality control. The Care and Quality Commission were not also responsive to this at the time. We were nudged, we were coerced, we had a mandate. They had vaccine passports, of course, at the time, you'll remember. Even before Together, we did Open for All with thousands of hospitality venues saying we wouldn't have a papers, please society. And now the problem is we've got a situation where the trust gap is so enormous. But also, we should remember that when this current government were in opposition, they had an opportunity to say, hold on, let's assess, let's evaluate. And even while these things were happening, AstraZeneca were aware of these things. This is the point why some people are so furious, understandably, because if you're going to be diligent, if you're going to be saying, get politicians go around saying it's safe and effective, against something that was very threatening if you were very vulnerable and very old, but for the rest of society was nominal, then why would people believe things about any other vaccinations? And that's the problem as well, Mike, right? A lot of people make decisions not to get their kids jabbed, all sorts of other things. So it's a very serious situation. I hope that the government is going to take significant measures, but we have to think about down the line how we respond to all of this. And it's just like costs and benefits are essential, and the voices of the public, as well as doctors, the Great Barrington Declaration, journalists, a lot of people were smeared and sidelined, and that's unacceptable.
Absolutely right. And those two words, safe and effective, I mean, very interesting words, aren't they? Because yes, effective up to a point, but not effective up to every point, and safe, yes, but not for absolutely everyone. And they've just been more honest about it. That would have been fine. But, you know, then we could have made a sort of educated decision, you know, in terms of what to do about your children, what to do about, you know, everything that we were all asked to make decisions about.
The thing about informed choice is that you have to understand what you're informed with. And when you have obfuscation, when you have basically lies, when we've now seen that the harms are significantly more than all of the other harms with all of the other procedures in the post-war period. We know that we've had the infected blood scandal and lots of compensation for that. The problem is this all comes out much later, Mike, and we need proper scrutiny. We need transparency. People need to be held to account. If I, in business, running a hospitality venue, poisoned lots of people and they died and were injured, that would have immediate ramifications, particularly if I'd known about it, right? I would then be in a position where I'd be up for manslaughter or murder charges. Now, what I'm saying is we need a calm conversation, but understandably people are furious, and some that were making these points and asking questions at the time were ridiculed, they were shamed. Obviously, people like Hancock are now out of this situation, but they were cheerleaders. The point about the current government is that they were cheerleading everything from lockdowns to mandates. We lost 45,000 care workers. 100,000 NHS staff were threatened. We were put in a position where we were attacked by our government. We were not, and we must ensure, and that's what we're saying it together, to public to have our voices heard and hold people to account.